all the provisions which are applicable to a company, complying with all those provisions. Plus, if the company is registered with any of the sectoral authorities, like NBFCs are registered with RBI, right? My company is registered with DPE, Department of Public Enterprises. So, in addition to the company's act compliances, we have to look for the compliances made applicable to us by the authorities.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Wait, sorry. Okay, ma'am. Um,
Additionally, I
ma'am.
can share you the template. Additionally, I can share you the template that what are the roles and responsibilities of a CS for a particular class of companies if you require it from my end.
Ma'am, it would be great, ma'am, if you can like send that.
Yeah, you
Ma'am,
can
not
share
right
my
now, ma'am.
mail
You
ID.
can. Okay, ma'am. I'll send my mail ID on the WhatsApp.
Yeah, that would be better.
Okay.
And we can connect again as well. Like today, we can have a brief introduction, and once you go through that, the roles and responsibilities of the CS, the areas in which the CS can perform, we can have a second session as well for this.
Ma'am, actually, the thing was ma'am, we have a deadline by today night, so we just
Yeah,
have
that
this
is
time
okay.
for
That is
this.
okay. That is
Yes.
okay. Yeah, that is okay. I can share that roles and responsibilities in maximum half an hour.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, it's fine. You can share it anytime today.
Right.
Okay. Ma'am, I'll ask the second question now. Ma'am, how do you ensure that all relevant stakeholders are informed and prepared? So, ma'am, like how you like inform the stakeholders or shareholders before a meeting?
See, for there are certain agendas which are approved by the board, and there are particular list of agendas which are approved by the shareholders. Right?
Okay, ma'am.
If like board of the company is involved in daily day-to-day operations of the company, so
Yes, ma'am.
everything is not required to be taken to the shareholders. What particular agenda items are to be taken to shareholders are specified in the Companies Act 2013. For those
Okay, ma'am.
particular items, we go to shareholders. Otherwise, everything we prepare the agendas and we make sure that we dispatch the agendas or the agendas are made available to the directors minimum 7 days before the board meeting, so that they can go through the particular agendas and accordingly the resolutions can be passed.
Ma'am, so 70 or 17 days, like 70.
Seven,
70.
seven. It's just 7 days.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, 7 days. Okay, okay,
Like
ma'am.
approval of financial statements, uh,
Yes,
जो balance sheet अपनी sign होती है, that is done by the board of directors.
yes, ma'am.
Board of directors approve. Board of directors approve that financial statement, and in the annual general meeting, the financial statements are adopted by the shareholders, approved by the board, and adopted by shareholders in the general meeting, which is the annual general meeting. For board meeting, the notice period is 7 days, and for the general meetings, the notice period is 21 clear days. And
Okay,
that
ma'am.
21 clear days is taken as 24 days. Like 2 days for dispatch are separate apart from 21 days. So it comes to 24 days. And just in case you need to convene general meeting a shorter notice, we need to have the consent of the shareholders for holding the meeting a shorter notice. In case of extraordinary general meeting, it is 95% shareholders consent, and in case of annual general meeting, it is 100% shareholders consent.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, can you just give me a minute? My internet is a bit, wonky. Just give me a minute.
That is okay. That is okay. Please take your time.
Hey, disconnect कर. भाई मेरा लाइक बहुत गंदा जा रहा है इंटरनेट. बहुत कट रहा है. ओके. कैमरा तुम लोगों का कैमरा ऑन है? मेरा सबका ऑफ हो गया. Okay. Okay, ma'am. So now I'll be asking ma'am you the third question. Ma'am, so like what are the key duties of a company secretary during a meeting, ma'am? Especially in your company, ma'am. How do you work during a meeting?
I'll tell you that there are a list of agendas which are put before the board for approval. Certain are informatory and certain agendas are for the approval. ठीक है? discuss the agendas line by line, and the discussion made is recorded by us in the minutes of the meeting. Like when we are sitting in the meeting, we cannot make the minutes immediately. We just note down the points which have been discussed, and thereafter we proceed for minutes. And now the practice is that we have the recordings of the meeting. We take the recordings of the meetings as well. Like what all is discussed in the meeting, we have it afterwards as well. On the basis of that, those recordings and the points jotted down by us, we prepare the minutes.
Okay. What, ma'am, minutes or can you repeat, ma'am?
See, whatever is discussed in the meeting, no, and when
Yes,
we
ma'am.
put it in on the papers, those are the minutes of the meeting. In law, we
Okay,
call it minutes. The
minutes. Okay.
recordings of the meetings on paper, it is called minutes.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, now my friend Siddharth will ask some questions.
Sure,
Thank you, ma'am.
you're welcome.
Morning, ma'am. My name is Siddharth Nag. Ma'am,
Hi, hi.
I have a set of questions.
Please tell me.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, my first question is, how do you handle conflicts of interest or the ethical dilemmas that may arise during the company meetings?
How do we handle ethical conflicts? Actually,
Yes, ma'am. Ethical
those
dilemmas or
haven't
conflict of interest.
those haven't arrived as of now in my company. In general, what practices followed? No, we just make the directors understand the things that is this is not in the interest of the company. We proceed for the items which are in the interest of the company, and the item which is in the conflict, we try to take it to the next board meeting so that we can have a primary discussion, and thereafter we put it before the board.
Okay. Ma'am, my second question is, what are the steps that you take post-meeting to ensure that the decisions and the actions of the items are appropriate and documented and have been communicated to the relevant parties?
What we do, we take the entire thing in the. I mean, we do the recording for the meetings. No, the
Mhm.
electronic recording is done for the meeting, so that nothing is missed out from our end. And on the basis of those recordings, we prepare our minutes, and then we circulate it to the relevant departments.
Okay.
The draft
Ma'am,
of
the
the.
last question. Nice, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am, the last question is that how do you stay updated with the changes in the legislation and the regulations relevant to the corporate governance and the company secretarial practices?
actually, I just missed the statement. You were not audible.
Ma'am,
Can you
am
please
I audible
repeat?
right now? Yes,
It's
ma'am.
better now, better.
Uh, yes, ma'am. How do you stay updated with the changes in the legislation and the regulation relevant
Actually,
to the
we
corporate governance? Yes, ma'am.
actually we have the MCA website. It's mca.gov.in. Whatever the amendments
Mhm.
are made in the law, no, they appear on the MCA website. So we just need to go through the website every day. And as in
Okay.
when the new circular or the notifications come into force, we have to go through those notifications and accordingly update us.
Okay. Now, ma'am, over to Pranav. He's gonna have some couple of questions also. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, almost.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good
So,
morning, Pranav.
ma'am, actually, this is a practical question I'm going to ask, ma'am. Like, this is just for like we are like learning corporate law. So we need if you could provide us with a real life example of a challenging legal issue related to that you have encountered or other people in your field have encountered, and how it was resolved. If it's possible, could you share an incident of that sort?
Mm, as in the major legal issue has not come into my practice as of now, which needs
Okay, ma'am.
the, I mean, which
No, like
needs to.
even an issue that is like a legal issue that has that you've heard of or
I'm
that
not
can
able to
be
recall
relevant.
as of now. I am not able to recall as of now. I
Okay,
mean,
okay,
to an extent it is
okay,
not
ma'am.
possible to recall. I'm so sorry.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
And like
And
my second
like
question
my
is,
second question
what
is,
strategies do
what
you
strategies
employ
do
to
you
ensure that
employ to ensure
like the
that
principles
like the principles
that you stated
that you stated in the
to Rohan, that
to
you
Rohan that
ensure
you
that
ensure
the
that
companies act
the
principles,
companies
like
act principles, like
how are these
how
principles
are these
upheld in
principles
the
upheld in
organization,
the
like in
organization,
case of
like in case of
malpractice or any of
malpractice or
these
any of
things,
these
like
things, like
what would be the
what would
response
be the
like as a
response like
corporate
as a corporate
secretary?
secretary?
Actually, whatever is applicable as per the Companies Act, we have the proper list of those applicable provisions.
Okay,
So
ma'am.
we
Okay, ma'am.
ensure that nothing. I mean, we prepare the Excel sheets. We have the different softwares like Taxman, Computex, so that nothing is actually software makes us remind that the particular compliance is going to appear, and we have to comply with that. So
Okay,
I mean,
ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
99.99% nothing is missed out from our end.
Uh,
If we talk
Thank,
about companies
thank
law, company law, yeah,
okay, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank
ma'am.
you, ma'am. Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
I'm
Thank you,
handing
ma'am.
it
I'm
over to
handing it over
Sarvesh.
to Sarvesh.
yeah.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Sarvesh, and I just want to ask you a couple of questions. So my
Sure, sure.
first question is, ma'am, to you is, how do you handle a sensitive information about and ensure confidential your role in the company secretary as a company secretary?
I mean, how do I ensure I just don't share it with anyone? That is the, I mean, whatever is discussed with CMD or the management, it is made sure that nothing is going to be leaked from my end. And whatever data and everything is provided to me, I just make sure to make it password protected so that no one can have that access to my information. Like minutes are very confidential. Nobody can access those minutes apart from the directors or the company secretary. So we have the safe custody for that.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
Sarvesh,
all you will
And
come to know once you join the organization or you come into practice.
Sarvesh, एक म्यूट कर दो. So, ma'am, I want to add on a bit. As you said, ma'am, it's very confidential. The minutes are very confidential, ma'am. So, how do you like refrain from like telling your because, ma'am, obviously, it happens in humans, ma'am, where we tell to like our loved ones, like our family, our parents, or like. So, ma'am, how
No,
do you
no.
like?
If, you have to be very professional in that particular case. I mean, I have good friends in my office, and only CS is allowed to sit in the meetings. If we talk about the board meetings, no, only the committee secretary is allowed to sit in the meeting. Like
Yes,
many
ma'am.
people ask that what was discussed in the meeting, so it is totally up to you. Like being friend and being professional is very different. So that should be very clear from our end that whatever is discussed in the meeting with the directors is not to be disclosed to anyone.
Okay, ma'am.
That you have to make sure.
Okay, okay, ma'am. So, Sarvesh should ask the next question. Thank you.
Thank you.
my second question to you is, ma'am, can you discuss the importance of transparency and accountability of a corporate governance and how you promote these principles within the company as a company secretary?
Sorry, I did not get what exactly
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. My second question is, can you
do you
discuss the
want
importance?
from my end.
Hello.
Yeah, 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 I'm hearing.
Yeah. My second question to you is, ma'am, can you discuss the importance of transparency and accountability in corporate governance and how do you promote this principle with the company secretary?
Because we talk about corporate governance, no, we have to be very much updated with the legislations and regulations applicable to us. And being a company secretary of the company, we should make ensure that we have every point of the compliances noted into our systems or our diary. So as in when the compliance occurs or the deadline occurs, we should make sure that we should comply with that. Like we should have a tracker with us, like for board meetings, we have to conduct the board meetings in every quarter as per Companies Act. But there are certain enterprise, public and public departments. Like my company is governed by Department of Public Enterprises. That particular authority says that we have to conduct the board meeting every 90 days, right?
Okay.
So as per Companies Act, it is 120 days. As per DPE, it is 90 days. So we have to keep a tracker for that. As in when the last meeting was held, next meeting, like we circulate the mails that please provide us with the agendas with the different departments. So it is onto us that we should keep a tracker with us.
Okay. Ma'am, last question to you is, ma'am, is how do you navigate complex regulatory environment to ensure the complex company operates within a bounds of the law as a company secretary?
What was your last line, Sarvesh?
Ma'am, I repeat the question. Ma'am, my question is, how do you navigate the complex of regulatory environment to ensure the company operates within the boards of law? Bounds of
I'm not able to understand this point as of now. You can text me and I'll reply on this point.
Yes, ma'am, I'll text you. Ma'am, actually, I'll tell you the question, ma'am. His audio is a little. Just give me a second. तो सर्वेश कौन सा वाला था? थर्ड क्या कौन सा? अच्छा थर्ड. Okay, so ma'am, the question is, how do you navigate complex regulatory environments to ensure that the company operates within bounds of law? So ma'am, basically, how like what laws basically use for like the company doesn't like do something illegal by any chance? Because corporate, I know that meetings have to follow very like law structure, very good law structure.
We, precisely those have to be followed, right? We have a checklist for everything, and everybody briefs you about the applicable laws to us, whether it is related to Companies Act or the particular authority act. We have a checklist for everything, and we follow that checklist for the particular authorities accordingly. I mean, there is no set of practices that every CS, like my set of practices can be different, and the other CS practicing the compliance mistakes might be different. So once you enter the
ये आवाज कट
organization
रही
and
है
you
मेरे
work
लिए.
practically, then you actually come to know what needs to be followed.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, I had a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you said you work for the Department of Public Enterprises, right?
No, our company is governed by Department of Public Enterprises.
Okay, okay. So for like a little bit of context, can you just explain like the role of this department?
I mean, that if we talk about NBFCs, for NBFCs, the regulatory authority is RBI, right?
Okay.
Reserve Bank of India. And the same
o-
is applicable to the PSUs. PSUs are governed by Department of Public Enterprises.
Okay, ma'am.
That is the governing authority for particular companies.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Like
you.
it is Fargate Corporation is also governed by Department of Public Enterprises, because in these particular companies, no, the maximum mistake is held by the government of India,
Mm-hmm.
and government of India takes the control through Department of Public Enterprises.
Public enterprise. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
You're most welcome.
Anirudh.
Good morning, ma'am.
Hi Anirudh, good
My
morning.
first good morning, ma'am.
Hi, good morning.
My first question is that what methods do you use to evaluate and mitigate risk associated with legals and compliance issue within the companies?
We have a proper checklist, and if we talk about the companies, no, there are specifically very precise laws applicable to a particular company if we work for a company. So we have a checklist for everything, and just in case we we are stuck somewhere, we take the help of the consultants or the major legal firms, or we ask for the suggestion from CMD or director finance. I mean, their decisions have to be final. We can give the suggestions that this particular uh, method is to be followed, but since it is to be approved by the management, we take their advice and we put it before the board. Before taking any decisions, we take it to board meeting. Even CMD or the director cannot decide on its own. We have to have the particular approval of the entire board.
Oh, okay, ma'am. My second question is that how do you foster effective and communication and collaboration between different departments or stakeholders regarding legal and governance matter?
That is all done through listening. I mean, whatever is to be communicated to the department, we communicate accordingly. And there are certain set of information which are not required to be given to these stakeholders, particular class of stakeholders. We don't give for that particular information. That is to be approved by the director. I mean, who is heading the company, who is handling the day-to-day operations of the company. I mean, being a CS, I cannot decide what is to be communicated to the shareholder and what not. Apart from the compliances of the Companies Act, for the other legal matters or the day-to-day operations, I cannot take the decision. That is to be approved by the board.
Okay, thank you,
Okay.
ma'am. Pankaj.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am, if it's not a big ma'am hassle, ma'am, can we like, ma'am, we need like a screenshot. So, ma'am, can you just like open your camera for that?
Sure, sure, sure.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Screenshot ले लो. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Also, ma'am, can you provide me with your LinkedIn profile, ma'am?
I'll check it.
Ma'am, you'll send me. Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, thank you for
Sure, sure, I'll do that.
this
I'll do that.
interview, ma'am. Ma'am, we learned a lot.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for the help, ma'am.
Most welcome.
Okay,
Most
ma'am.
welcome. You can contact me anytime. Most welcome. Most welcome. Bye bye.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, bye. You're most welcome. Bye bye.
Bye, ma'am. Boys, थोड़ा कब हो गया recording